Welcome to Business BTS. Today, we're peeling back the layers of one of the most famous business rivalries of all time, the battle between Apple and Microsoft. From Steve Jobs' bold vision to Bill Gates' genius business moves, this is a story of innovation, betrayal, and an unexpected alliance that changed the tech industry forever. Let's dive into the untold story of how Apple versus Microsoft shaped the digital world. It all started in 1976. Apple was founded by Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne, with a simple mission to make personal computing accessible to everyone. They believed that computers weren't just for businesses or experts, they were for everyday people. And with that vision, they launched the Apple I series, followed by the breakthrough Apple II, which quickly became one of the best-selling personal computers of its time. Apple was on the rise. Steve Jobs was hailed as a genius, and the company seemed unstoppable. But just as Apple was building its empire, a new player entered the field: Microsoft. In 1975, Bill Gates and Paul Allen founded Microsoft. While Apple was focused on building hardware, Gates saw a different opportunity: software. Gates knew that the future of computing wasn't just about the machine. It was about the programs that made those machines work. And his big break came when IBM, the largest computer company in the world, approached Microsoft to develop an operating system for their new line of personal computers. Microsoft delivered with MS-DOS, and it became the foundation of IBM PCs, and soon enough, almost every other personal computer on the market. Bill Gates had found his secret weapon: licensing. By licensing MS-DOS to multiple computer manufacturers, Microsoft quickly became the dominant player in the software industry, and Gates became a billionaire. But this success set the stage for a fierce rivalry with Apple. The real battle started in the mid-1980s, when Apple launched its revolutionary Macintosh computer. It wasn't just another PC. It was the first personal computer with a graphical user interface, which meant users could navigate using a mouse and click on icons instead of typing commands. Apple's message was clear: they were changing the world. But then, Microsoft made its move. In 1985, they released Windows, an operating system that borrowed heavily from Apple's graphical interface. Steve Jobs was furious. He accused Bill Gates of stealing his ideas, calling Microsoft a copycat. Gates, however, didn't see it that way. He famously responded, "Steve, I think it's more like we both had this rich neighbor named Xerox, and I broke into his house to steal the TV set and found out you had already stolen it." The rivalry escalated, and Apple versus Microsoft became the defining tech battle of the 1980s and 90s. But little did the world know, the most shocking twist was yet to come. Despite the initial success of the Macintosh, Apple began to stumble. The company was struggling to keep up with the competition, and by the early 1990s, Apple's market share was in free fall. Internal conflicts were tearing the company apart, and in 1985, Steve Jobs was ousted from the very company he had founded. Meanwhile, Microsoft was soaring to new heights. Windows was dominating the PC market, and by 1995, the release of Windows 95 cemented Microsoft as the king of personal computing. Bill Gates was now the richest man in the world, while Apple was on the brink of collapse. It looked like the rivalry was over, but the story didn't end there. In 1997, Steve Jobs made a dramatic return to Apple. The company was on the verge of bankruptcy, and drastic action was needed. But no one could have predicted what happened next. In a stunning twist, Steve Jobs announced that Apple had received a $150 million investment from none other than Microsoft. Yes, the very company that Apple had been battling for decades was now coming to its rescue. Bill Gates appeared via satellite at Apple's Macworld event, and the two tech giants declared a truce. Microsoft's investment helped keep Apple afloat, but more importantly, it gave Jobs the breathing room he needed to execute his vision for the company's comeback. With Microsoft's help and Steve Jobs back at the helm, Apple began its legendary comeback. In 2001, Apple launched the iPod, revolutionizing the way people listen to music. But it was the 2007 launch of the iPhone that truly changed the game. Apple had not only reinvented itself, it had reshaped entire industries. Meanwhile, Microsoft continued to dominate in software, but Apple had become a cultural icon. The iPhone, iPad, and MacBook turned Apple into the world's most valuable company, while Microsoft remained a powerhouse in the business world. The rivalry had evolved, but the competition was as fierce as ever. The rivalry between Apple and Microsoft is more than just a story of competition. It's a story of vision, innovation, and two companies that changed the world. From the courtroom battles to the unexpected partnership, their rivalry has pushed both companies to innovate and redefine the future of technology. Today, Apple and Microsoft are still two of the biggest companies on the planet, each dominating their own space. But the question remains, who truly won the battle? Was it Apple with their sleek, revolutionary devices? Or Microsoft with their dominance in software and business solutions? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the world of business. This is Business BTS, where we uncover the secrets behind the headlines. See you in the next episode.